I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. My grandmother started the process to get me here into the U.S. It was just my grandmother and I. She would work 2 jobs to make sure that I had everything that I needed. My grandmother never really complained much. She just rolled with the punches. If she knew that she had to move somewhere or do something, she just did it. I would say that she had a lot of strength in her, and she embodied that gracefully because there was really no one helping my grandmother. It was just her and I. She came to the U.S., got her CNA certification. Seeing her accomplish that gave me hope, Like, you can do anything as long as you work towards it, as long as you do your best. My father was there, but he was physically not present. From the age of 3 all the way up to the age of 12, he was mostly in and out, doing his own thing. His role was to, be the disciplinarian and kind of like set me straight. But what he did not understand, what he was doing was breaking my spirit. So from the age of 13 to 21, we were all living under my father's roof. My father was very controlling, at times abusive, financially, mentally, emotionally. At 19, I ran away from home, ended up in a teen shelter. When I became a U.S. citizen, I decided that I would indefinitely leave home. I made up in my mind at that moment, no one else will help me but me. I ended up meeting this young man who could have not done any wrong. He was sweet at first. A few months later, I started seeing some changes in him. My woman's intuition told me that he was seeing someone else. When I discovered that, I also was having pregnancy symptoms. And he did not want anything to do with our baby. I was hurt. I was enraged. I decided this was not a healthy relationship for me to continue. And I decided to move back to Boston on my own. So I decided to go into a shelter. While I was there, there were people that had drug addictions, mental health issues. So being in that type of environment was very scary for me. The case manager at that shelter told me to go to 1010 Mass Ave to get some assistance. At that time, I was 7 months pregnant. It was middle of August, and I had to carry my suitcase all the way from downtown Boston to 1010 Mass Ave. And the whole time, I kept repeating to myself, I am not my mistakes. I am not my mistakes. Carrying that suitcase across town really put things in perspective. Right then and there, I said to myself, I will never allow myself to get to this point again. When I went to DTA, that same day, they were able to place me in a shelter, and I got connected with Miss Renee, the house manager at Heading Home. She was firm but easy to talk to. She was like a burst of sunshine, She shared a little bit of her life story and her transparency and the things that she went through. Sharing that with me made me possible, or made me comfortable enough to open up to her. So Miss Renee was able to meet me where I am without being judgmental. As life went on, I learned how to adapt with every change. That mentality to persevere. You will get through the other side. I made a list of the things that I wanted to accomplish, which of course was getting a job and getting my own place. I said, my next job will be my career job. So I was able to enter into a training with Goodwill Industries, got my human services certificate. Then I got into the job that I am in now. I'm working at Bridge Over Troubled Waters, which is an amazing agency. One of the requirements at being at Heading Home, you had to put application for housing. So every week I was putting in like 8 or 9 applications for housing through the city of Boston and just waiting. When I was accepted into the PPH program, Pathways to Permanent Housing, I was housed into a unit in Dorchester. I was in for a surprise because I did not know how blessed I would be with all the volunteers that pitched in to furnish my home. Before they even furnished my home, they sat me down, got to know me, and asked me questions of what I liked, how did I picture my home. And, I was expecting, just the bare minimum, nothing too much. And the day that I was going to move in, I was just in awe of just everything. This was beyond anything that I ever expected or could thought of. And Elliot's room was so cute. Oh, everything was just amazing. And all the volunteers were there to greet me first day into my unit. And I was just so, that is one of the moments that I won't forget, that I'm just so grateful for. Going from, sharing a house with other parents to actually having the keys to walk into my own home, to have my own peace of mind was just a great feeling to have. After everyone left, I just sat in my apartment with Elliot and just kind of like let it all sink in. Just looked around and was just so grateful, and I was just like praying and crying like, wow, am I able to have Elliot run around now in his little toys and trucks? And if I was in a shelter, you have to abide by rules, make sure you're not disturbing others, whereas we have our own little peace of mind and build memories, just little moments I get to build with him in our home. Heading home to give me that opportunity to have that is just amazing. There's a saying that says, even broken crayons color. Whatever the picture was that was presented in my life or the situation, I always will try to find a way to color it and make it beautiful or find the beauty in those pictures. I think that's the essence of resiliency, is going against all odds, fighting the grain and still being able to get back up